What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here. We're back again playing some more Modern. Now, I spent a bit of time on Tuesday, so 2 days ago, playing Infect, and it was a lot of fun. It was really good. Reminded me a little bit of... I had a conversation with someone on one of the Bogles Facebook groups, and he was talking about basically playing like Infect spells, but in a Bogle list. So you'd have the Bogles, you'd cast your Scale Up, your Groundswell, you might have Old Crozer, and you'd attack on him. Obviously, you could go lighter on like the Hexproof sort of effects, Blossoming Defense, Vines of Vastwood. And then he had the option to transition sideboard into Infect creatures as well. I'm not going to go quite that crazy. I was just sitting there thinking after playing it, what if we try Scale Up in the deck as a 4-of? And, you know, it's basically 1 mana, 6 damage on our opponent. If we do our usual good hand of turn 1, attack for 5 with Ethereal Armor Rancor, then turn 2 attack for 5, then turn 3 we're attacking for 11 with Scale Up, and then like pretty much any other aura will kill our opponent. So yeah, I got thinking and decided I want to include it in the deck and give it a shot, see how it goes. So land base is sort of unchanged. Creature base, I have actually adjusted the creature base. Let me just maybe move those there. I've actually adjusted the creature base. I've removed a core Spirit Dancer to help make room for this Scale Up here. I've got the 4 Ethereal Armor, of course, the 4 Hyena Umbra, the 4 Rancor, and the 4 Daybreak Coronets. And then we've got 3 Elves for Cartouche of Solidarity, help play around those Esper control decks. Gonna try that one out again. Griffspoon as a 3, Sentinel's Eyes with the Vigilance as a 2, Spider Umbra as a 2, and then yeah, Daybreak Coronet as a 4. So yeah, no Spirit Mantle, no Path to Exiles in the deck. Really just going all in on the Scale Up plan. And like, there's not that many Chalice of the Void decks around here at the moment, so it shouldn't be too bad. Sideboard wise, we've got Deicide for Heliod, Rest in Peace for Graveyard decks, Gadok Teague for Tron, Lurrus for value, Force of Vigor for Artifact and Enchantment Destruction, and Leyline of Sanctity for discard and burn. Let's go ahead and jump into one. Okay. So yeah, I have like no idea if this is going to be good or not, but I was thinking and I decided, you know, we've got to try this, right? In fact, like, I'm sort of surprised we haven't tried it previously. Let's update this one. So yeah, should be fun, hopefully. Hopefully we get like a couple of cheese wins and things like that, and if not, you know, we can put it to bed. I have a feeling like probably 3 is the correct number for Scale Up, but at the same time, I'm going to test it as a 4-of, because otherwise what's the point of testing it? I actually want to see how good it is. I don't want to just immediately go to be optimized. When you're testing your cards in deck, that's usually the best way to go. You go the whole playset and you tone it backwards if you need to. Obviously, downside is you can't play 2 in the same turn. But you can play 1 on like 1 turn and 1 on the following turn. Alright, so here we are for match number 1, everyone. We won the die roll. That means we're going to be on the play. We'll get our companion happening. And what's our starter look like? We're versing Rockster here. So the old double Scale Up, no hexproof creature. I think we'll throw this one. I think I broke the deck, guys. It's definitely cursed right now. Alright, so we'll throw that. Alright, keep this. This looks good. We've got to drop 2 cards. So like Sentinel's Eyes is sort of repeatable. I think we then just drop a land. We're more likely to hit land than auras. All these auras are kind of good. Tempo wise, it's nice to hit our second thing. I'll just get rid of Gristburn. You know what? We'll just get rid of it. I suppose scale up can also get worse the later the game goes on, with your opponent having, you know, ways to block your creature. But we're not going to focus on that just yet. We'll play it like as early as we can, even though, you know, it'd be good to catch your opponent off guard. In a lot of matchups, you're probably just playing it on your turn 2. Just for ultimate value, ultimate like avoid them interacting, unless you got trample or flying or something. Tron. Okay, so I'd actually like to see it in this matchup. All right, we've got all the land we ever need this match. Oh, we crashed. Okay, good. I was worried for a second there. Guys, we literally broke Magic the Gathering online. I mean, it's not that an update just happened and it's probably buggy as heck. Wizards would never do that, right? Alright, well, we'll try our hardest to get back into it shortly. It's actually connected me very quickly here. Alright. So can I cast spells? Yeah, I can cast spells. Goody. Goody. So I wouldn't say we're like in the super best spot to be versing our opponent here. We actually reloaded back in very quickly there. Normally it takes a lot longer. Alright, Ancient Stirrings. I'd much prefer to see like a scrying here. Sylvan Scrying? No. We'd prefer to see Ancient Stirrings to the Sylvan Scrying. Relic of Progenitus. Okay. Does that mean he just had Natural Tron? Let's Lurrus. We can, like, Ethereal Armor and attack for 6 there, but honestly, they're just going to take the Ethereal Armor, so what's the point? We might as well hold the Ethereal Armor in hand. And also, Lurrus is going to be pretty awful in the face of this Relic of Progenitus, but, you know, whatever. Maybe the creature comes in handy. You never know. So I missed out on 3 points of damage this turn. I guess we'll keep track and see if that would have cost us the game. Opponent's probably going to play something pretty big and obnoxious. Hopefully it's just a Wormcoil engine and they don't have much else back up. Alright, there's the Wormcoil. And there's the Relic and Cycled. What do we find? Yep. That's not what we're looking for. Alright, we'll get in there for 6. I think our opponent sort of has to block here, right? Yeah. Otherwise, if we get Trample or Flying, he just loses way more. Alright, so now he gets 2 creatures. You got it. Yeah, reasons to not just like jam the Ethereal Armor 2 turns ago, by the way, as well, is like, if our opponent cons and removes the Ethereal Armor, we're probably not like winning, but if they can't and remove Sentinel's Eyes, we might. Like, Ethereal Armor is just a very powerful aura. Can't really afford to lose it. Alright, well, there's the O-Stone. I think our opponent's gonna crack this one when we attack. We do have this second Bogle in hand. It's not completely awful. At this point, like, the game's just slowed down way too much. He's tapping out for something, or is he just activating now? Khan. So he's going to look to get rid of the Umbra effect here. Or that. I think we've lost this one. Right on time, Mr. Rancor. Right on time. Let's go to sideboarding. This isn't worth anyone's time to watch. Watch us like slowly lose over another 2 to 3 turns. It's just not going to happen. Played the matchup enough to know that. Alright, so Gadok Tig definitely comes in. There's an option to bring in Force of Vigor. Should probably bring in at least one in the blind, in case they have Khan the Great Creator package with Ensnaring Bridge. And what do we not like? I mean, Cartouche's Solidarity is probably a little bit weak. Maybe a Sentinel's Eyes out as well. Actually, I probably like Cartouche over Sentinel's Eyes. The token doesn't get destroyed by a Blast Zone, so it can potentially bring value for us. Fortunately, I'm only running the 2 Gadok Tig in this particular list, so I'm less likely to run into it. It's a pretty important card in the matchup as well. I don't think we saw a companion game one against their opponent. It doesn't look like it says anything on the chat log. This is like got no good clock at all. We can get a Dried Arbor, which is kind of nice, but like this hand has 4 power, and it's pretty disappointing. When we're on the play, we want to be more aggressive than that. Okay, well, we're going down to a 5-card hand now. Alright, well, Gadok Tig is good. It's very good. Let's keep. Ditch land Cartouche. That way we'll have a 6-power, no, 7-power creature once we drop all our auras. Yeah, 7 power. Alright, we'll crack this one, and Temple Garden in tapped. Could go for Dried Arbor there, but then that's going to make it hard for us to turn 3 triple white. That's an aura. Alright, so a lot of the time Gadok Tig is just your best out to win against Tron because it shuts down all their unfair stuff. And then as long as you can deal with a Wormcoil Engine, you're fine. They can Dismember it, they can Spatial Contortion it, they can Oblivion Stone still, but yeah, it's just our best bet. Also Blast Zone. Land? Not land, but not bad. Let's put as much power and toughness down as possible here. Also, like, resilience against a Wormcoil Engine. Walking Ballista, pardon me. There's the Blast Zone. I mean, it doesn't take long for it to just randomly appear, does it? It's pretty good. Alright, so we can attack for 11 here, put our opponent to 4. and then they're close to dead. They will have like Blast Bone active next turn, which will trigger the Spider Umbra. They could potentially put like 2 counters on it, but it's just way worse for them. They just want to, you know, pop it for 1. But they'll get their Tron mana. They can pop it, make us lose all our enchantments, and then they have 4 mana left over to do something with. That's not correct. That's not correct at all. They just already have the tower in hand. Expedition map is just redundant. Alright. You got something that beats this one? Maybe Dismember? Or did they realize that they had just done goofed? They took like a fairly long pause in between the Blast Zone active and that, so maybe they realized. Just no reason for like 2 for 1 us there when they can like 4 for 1 us. I mean, they concede. Alright, well, go team. Gadok Tig OP, Totem Armor OP. Let's go. Don't really see too much we want to change. Like, Cartouche could be good or bad. Maybe we want to like get rid of Scale Up, but it's also a very good way to race our opponents. So, yeah, let's go. Imagine if we overloaded people. That'd never happen, right? Alright, we look to hit a land. Actually, we don't have Totem Armor, and we only have 1 land here. It's also really aggressive though, because we have our turn 2 attack for 5. I think we keep. We're missing Totem Armor. We're missing any way to interact with our opponent. Like, slow them down. Opponent's mulliganed for the first time in this match. Could just go like land into Gadok Tig. That would be pretty sweet. I'd be happy with that. Okay, that is neither of the cards that I was crossing my fingers for. Alright, play our guy and pass it. Cartouche is like semi-reasonable. At least we get a random token to block with. Opponent's probably going to be a little better prepared for Gadok Tig this game after seeing what happened last game. Ancient Stirrings, what are we finding? Power Plant, you got it. Alright, Tron Mana, always this easy. Look out, people. Alright, well, we're doomed. The little vigilance token that vests the world, I reckon, at the moment. Because we are... This is a rough one right now. This isn't Burn. Why have we got triple Daybreak against not Burn? I'm so disappointed right now. So, like, on top of not having Totem Armor, we also don't curve out. And yeah, no interaction. Opponent have to have like a pretty bad hand from here for him to somehow not win. He can spend the mana, put Gigantha to hand if he's got nothing better to do. Or he's just got the stone. Right on time. Like, look at all this damage in hand, though, man. Like, the difference a second land would make. We have, like, absolutely bonkers damage here. We are very, very vulnerable to obvious things. This will destroy the warrior token as well. At least we get Rancor back, but the game's already over at this point, really. Alright, not the Tig we're looking for. I guess if he's going to do nothing, we can attack for 5. And then maybe if he has like Wormcoil Engine nothing next turn, and we land into Gadok Tig, shut down all his non-creature spells which are in hand. Maybe then. A lot of maybes, but there is a very narrow corner case where we actually survive here. Ulamog for like exile 1 permanent would be pretty funny here. Khan. I think this is game. Just has the calm. Doesn't want to beat down. GG's. Alright, we'll concede this one. We'll show our opponent all of the, like, not land that we have here. This is, like, the exact opposite of the problem Burgles normally has, right? Like, normally you're just flooding out with lands and creatures and you don't hit your auras, but, I mean, at least we didn't flood out on creatures. At least we flooded out on auras. It's kind of impressive. So yeah, game 1 there. I'm going to call my opponent getting a bit lucky. I'm going to be the salty guy that does that, right? But yeah, it's okay. We'll move on. We'll get the next ones. Another downside to Scale Up I didn't mention before was like it's pretty vulnerable to Aether Gust as well, which isn't great, but seems like it could be pretty strong against Shadow. It's not something people would normally expect. So match number 2 here, we won the die roll. That's 2 in a row. Versing Biddy this time. And has no auras to enable the Daybreak, but we do have a Horizon Canopy to cycle to help find it. And we still can't turn 3 Daybreak. Throw. Alright, this looks better. Keep. We'll ditch the Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor is just like never surviving in 90% or 95 to 99% of cases. It's just dead. Phone making random noises. Some sort of Champions League update. I don't know. Maybe the draw happened or not. Maybe. All I know is my team got knocked out. Poor old Liverpool with the 0-0. We had like very good stats from what I saw. Because I wasn't going to get up at 4:30 in the morning and watch the game on the lack of sleep I was having. But we dominated possession, shots. Had a better pass percentage. Actually had more tackles as well. Normally, it goes the other way. Alright, so... Ethereal Armor. Probably, like, not blocking our opponent's creature over here. Let's just jam down a couple of auras and attack. Could be a prowess deck here. It could be a burn deck. It could be a shadow deck. But there's no Lurus, so I don't think it's going to be shadow. I think most likely burn. Because normally mono red prowess runs like Obosh, right? Alright, now we just need to hit our spicy scale up and hit our opponent for 1,000,000. For opponent also goes for mountain. So it just has to be Boros Burn, right? Lightning Helix. Alright, it is Boros Burn. You got it. We take some damage. So we can do an attack for 9 next turn, taking 1. Ethereal armor? Okay, well. Never mind. 12 is a lot more than 9. We leave ourselves dead to like triple bolt, but what can you do? Alright, we got the big guy. Pretty interesting, like, there's always potential. Okay, my opponent concedes to this disgustingness. There's always potential that I can't even remember anymore. Sorry about that. Alright, so we'll bring in our ley lines. We'll bring in our Force of Vigors. Force of Vigor is obviously... it's not the most obvious thing to board in if you're new to the deck. Your opponents play Eidolon the Great Revel, and if they play a turn 2 Eidolon, it's very, very difficult for us to win. So if you bring in some Force of Vigors, you can kill it for free a lot of the time, and then not just like get wrecked, which is pretty nice. I think our like weakest cards are Core Spirit Dancer, probably Griffspoon, and then maybe like a Spider Umbra as well. Let's leave the scale ups in, I believe. Could also take out Cartouche's Solidarity. Cartouche does actually enable our opponent's Searing Blaze, but he's probably taking those out for Path to Exile. Just more powerful effect. Alright, we'll get a mulligan this. It's a 1-lander with no creature. Alright, this looks good. Keep. Get rid of Temple Garden because it hurts us and our other land does not. Leyline in play. Alright, Sacred Foundry, so it looks like a turn 1 creature here. Maybe a turn 1 Weretear, you never know. Goblin Guide with the trigger. Alright, we reveal Hyena Umbra. Kind of nice for us. So it's nice that we can like do double aura on turn 2. Means like a Weretear is not just going to 2-for-1 our Daybreak Coronet. So a really sweet card coming out in the new set, by the way, as well. That's for red and 1 red, 1 white, and it deals with planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, and creatures. I think. Here's 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker and destroy target artifact or enchantment. I think it's really good attack. Alright, we find a Horizon Canopy. Thank you, opponent. Just take the damage. Oh baby. That's one to draw. This could be, like, real dirty next turn. Alright, well, I'm just going to go for the attack here. I think if he uses Weretear and Leyline Sanctity, we're going to be in a good spot to win anyway. And if he doesn't, we just use it to chump block and save damage, which is also fine. Searing Blaze is currently turned off because they can't target us, so they can't do the 2 conditions they need to meet. I'll target the 2 conditions they need to meet. Alright, so attacks. Sure. It's the old guide revealing Rancor. I'll just save the 2. Alright, so about all that gets us here is Deflecting Palm. We have an attack for 12 at this point. Alright, we have to do this for the meme. Okay, we have an attack for 11. It's 1 less than what I thought. So scale up counts as like a +5. Gotcha. I was counting it as a +6 in my head. Alright, so obviously they can skull crack, stop us. Oh, they actually have the deflecting palm? Lol. Okay, well, this is embarrassing. I have not seen Deflecting Palm online for over a year now. People just don't play it. I did mention it. It was on my mind, but I'm not going to play around it. That would be ridiculous. Alright, so we don't gain the life either because our creature isn't dealing the damage. The Deflecting Palm is dealing the damage to us without targeting us or our creature. So obviously they can just prowess and win wide with the Swift Spear here. Awkward. We just shot ourselves in the face for an extra 5 there. If we rancor, would be 5 life higher right now. Or they're actually cycling Sunday Canyon. How little do they have in hand? Oh, we actually block with First Strike and gain life here. So they're probably looking for anti-life gain, like a Skull Crack. They know about the Rancor already. Alright, as he got the old double effect here, the double Deflecting Palm. I mean, if he had Deflecting Palm, he just attacks and does it in, like, my blocking damage. And then kills me for 1,000,000. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, but maybe he has anti-life gain. No anti-life gain? Alright. Well, this game just suddenly became a whole bunch easier. Just gotta watch out for those pesky Deflecting Palms still. Opponent concedes. Alright. It's that easy, people. Even with Deflecting Palm in its most powerful form, redirecting 11 damage, we still got the win there. Feels good, man. So yeah, for those of you just joining us, we're playing, obviously Bogles here, but mucking around with some scale up in the deck. So essentially it's like a +5 for 1 turn, which is pretty strong. And hopefully we'll catch some opponents off guard and, you know, deal a bunch of damage and get some wins from it. If not, it's probably just janky and not great, but felt like the sort of thing up my alley that I should try. I literally don't think we'd like want any other pump spell out of Infect. Maybe a Become Immense, super maybe though. Like it's probably just not nearly the same though. Yeah, scale up also makes a few of our attacks less awkward. Like for we've got like a Rancor hand with the scale up, it's just much harder for our opponent to block us. Like, First Strike's not going to cut it on its own, right? It's going to be an attack for 8 in that spot on turn 2. That's pretty wild. And yeah, at the moment it's taking the slots of 1 core Spirit Dancer, 2 Spirit Mantles, and a Path to Exile, I suppose. Oh, still Rake, thank you for the follow. I don't know why I didn't get a volume indicator from that. But yeah, thanks very much for following. Hope you're enjoying it, man. Where are you from? Yeah, that normally like pings a noise at me. I'm very confused as to why it didn't this time. Just turn my volumes up a little maybe, or check my volume mixer, make sure nothing's turned super down on there. And system sounds, they can stay at nothing. Everything seems to be normal. Probably some sort of update. So we could have played around the deflecting farm and didn't, but yeah, it didn't matter. Didn't matter. That extra 3 damage to our own face, absolutely fine. It's going to be pretty interesting when Strixhaven actually gets released again. I think it's this weekend or next weekend, actually. Because it's looking like there's a few busted cards in it, honestly. And even if it takes a while for people to refine some deck lists, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like another crazy period like post Throne of Eldraine. It's probably not quite as bad as Throne of Eldraine, but like there's that weird 1-drop with double prowess, which is obviously very scary. That's a card that's on a lot of people's lips at the moment. A lot of people have been talking about it. I actually missed it on my initial flick through all of the cards that were spoiled. Reason I missed it was I just dismissed it as like a spellcraft creature. I was dismissing most spellcraft creatures because a lot of them had like abilities that were sort of like beneficial to a creature deck or like an enchantment deck or something like that, but they required you to play instants and sorceries to trigger. Alright, so match number 3, won the die roll for the 3rd time in a row here, versing Osika or Ozia? Something like that. Pretty sure this is a mono red prowess opponent from memory. But I'm not seeing any companion here. This hand looks reasonable, so we'll keep it and we'll get into it. Alright, well there's the red, there's the Self-Scour Mage. Can we call it or can we call it? So Kraken Windswept Teeth play for basic, plays around Blood Moon. We got the plains. And we'll just go for Sentinel's Eyes, Ethereal Armor. Attack. There's potential for us to block here, but there's also a big potential for us to get blown out by like multiple instants, right? Because he can just go like Lava Dart and then grow above, right? Double Lava Dart will do that. Or Manamorphose into other things. So if he attacks, I actually need to let it through. Next turn, once I've got the Spider Umbra down, it's going to be safer to block. But also, it's going to be more beneficial to do it in future turns when he's actually attacking for more. Usually the first 2 turns are like set up for prowess. Manamorpho Stormwing, sure. See what the Scry does here. So Scry 2 cards top. Dare I say, Blood Moon is in our future. Our hand is great so far though. I think the main thing we're going to want to dodge is main deck Blast Zone. Attack for 8. I think I actually shock this Bogle into play. Oh, maybe not. It's like, if they Blood Moon, it's better to have it in play. If they Blast Zone, it's better not to. So, I guess this is the term where they would be doing Blood Moon, not Blast Zone. They're committing a lot of creatures to the board. They're gearing up for a strong attack on their turn 4, by the looks of it. And, yep, he knows the reach text. Oof. That's a big scary one. Alright, well, we'll start things off by attacking. We'll attack for 8. We'll probably chump with the Swift Spear. Then we can Slippery Bogle and we can Ethereal Armor on this second Hexproof creature here. So we have 2 creatures to block with. Well, technically 3, but I expect that Warrior token to probably die. And yeah, super vulnerable to Blast Zone at this point. I could like lure us there to try and play around the Blast Zone. Don't really think it's worth it. Preemptively. This just makes it really hard to kill us when he's got 2 creatures to attack through. Realistically, this Bogle is blocking and surviving anything on the ground, and this one's blocking and surviving anything in the air. So it's just the way it is. Opponent with the Sleight of Hand. Cool card. A card that definitely doesn't see enough play in my opinion. I remember when I was playing Infect, I used to run a couple of copies of this back with the old school list like 5 years ago. You'd run like 1 to 2 copies of Sleight of Hand. As opposed to something like Opt, you get to see both cards at the same time. Then choose the better one for your hand. Opponent concedes. Sweet. Go team. Alright, so we need to bring in these Force of Vigors for Blood Moon. We probably want to bring in Leyline of Sanctity, honestly. There was a period where I wasn't bringing it in against these decks. I also don't have Path to Exile in this list, so I've got like a lot of dead slots as far as sideboarding is concerned. Scale Up might be hard for us to cast, but it's also like pretty strong when we're attacking. It's just not very good outside of attacking. I think we're just going to take out all the copies of Scale Up. And hold on a minute. It's actually reasonable to have in as a couple of copies, right? Because if we get to turn 4 and our opponent's got like Blast Zone untapped, right? Usually they'll have creatures to block with and they'll crack Blast Zone in your attack step, and then you just have a 1/1 that's enchanted with nothing and it will die. At least in that spot, we'd have a 6/4. So I think maybe 3 copies is fine and we get rid of the Cartouche of Solidarity. Cartouche does offer an early blocker. It's just really bad against Lava Dart. This is kind of hard. I think maybe we want 2 Cartouche, 2 Scale Up, and then we might remove a Temple Garden. Alright, so our only creature here is a Dryad Arbor, which is a very vulnerable creature, so we're going to mulligan. You can see better 5s. Alright, we'll keep this one. Bottom. Bottom. At least this has our game plan ready to go. Hey, very nice. Good find. Alright, so opponent goes for the Sprite Dragon. No huge surprises there. Attacks for 2. We'll take it. So let's say at this point our opponent is probably the beatdown. Or is he? There's a chance if we don't play our scale up here, it's just gone to Blood Moon and we're playing a card short from our hand. If we do play it, however, we're very vulnerable to Kozilek's return on their next attack, which is pretty bad for us. I think most likely we just want to double Ethereal Armor and either attack or hold back to block the Soulscale Mage. We hold back to block. Yeah, no. We wanna attack in this spot, I think. He's not got that many creatures on the board. If it was like triple 1 mana creature there, they might actually kill us this turn. But I think he's gonna take until turn 4 to kill us at the earliest. Alright, well we're taking a bunch now, guys. Alright, they get light up the stage. Their hand's going to be refueled as well. Another Sprite Dragon and Fiery Islet for next turn, but 1 card left in hand, which is Mutagenic Growth. Okay. We actually have 13 damage, so if we actually got to untap, we would have killed our opponent here. That's pretty unfortunate. Because Griffspoon is worth 3 with double Ethereal Armor. That puts us to 8, and then we need to +5 from Scale Up. We have legitimately lethal if we were to survive that attack. Of course, we needed to attack. Opponent, you can see, got his powers, his creatures to power and toughness of 5/6 anyway. So, like, even if we left back blocks, we wouldn't have been able to block there. So attacking was the right decision. All right, we'll bring 1 land back in now that we're on the play. I might take out a Griffspoon. I actually value Totem Armor pretty highly in this matchup. It means that if we have Sentinel's Eyes, we can do attacks and blocks and not worry about how much prowess our opponent's got. Alright, well, we're keeping this, but it's going to need some help. What? Did we choose to be on the draw? Oh, did I just skip through my turn? Wait, what? I chose not to play first. Very interesting. I've never done that before online. Alright. Hopefully that doesn't cost us. Alright, Poster Boy Bogle hits the field, past the turn. So Metamorphose into Stormwing, into Sleight of Hand. Okay, well, this ley line's causing trouble for our opponent because it appears like they have a light up the stage. Let's go ahead and fetch this Windswept Teeth we drew a turn ago and make sure we have access to double white through Blood Moon. We'll give our creature enough toughness that it survives Kozilek's return as well. Alright, that was very accidental misclick. But our opponent did not have God Hand, so we're in with a shot. Is he holding up counter magic here? That's annoying. I really don't want this to get like mana leaked or spell snared. We draw one more land, we can play around spell snare. I think we want to wait. Alternatively, if he pumps his creature multiple times. Okay, we just lose Hyena Umbra for free. Never mind. Irritating. I would like to play the Scout there to bait our opponent, like tapping out and going crazy. But at the same time, I'm now vulnerable to Blast Zone. Alright, let's go for it. See what he does. It resolves. Okay, well, we played around nothing last turn. We'll make our creature even bigger, and then we get to attack for a bunch. Kozilek's. Yeah. We should still be bigger than our opponent's creature. Also, he marks damage on his own creature, so first strike-wise, we only need to deal 1 damage to him. However, that is a permanent negative effect. Opponent's smart enough not to block there. Interesting. We're on 24. Two cards left in hand. He will draw one off Sleight. Steam Vent's Shock. What does that mean? So, like, the worst case scenario is double Lava Dart here, or Lava Dart plus Kozilek's return. I think we have to go for this anyway. The longer this game wears on, the worse for us. The more he's just going to play as the control deck and get these instant speed shenanigans. So second Kozilek's return. It's rare that they play more than that. So now even if they Lava Dart twice, they Lava Dart and flash back, we can still kill him. Alright. Opponent Lightning Bolt targeting his own creature. Alright, opponent concedes the game. That was a weird hand. That seemed very reactionary and like he was trying to catch us off guard with these Kozilek's returns. He was not aggressive. Maybe he's sleight of handed into interactive cards. That was very odd. He had me sweating. Like, honestly, with the way he was playing, I could have sworn that he was going to have spell pierce, or is it charm, or one of those counter effects that is it prowess runs. Alright, so currently 2-1 though. Good win. Beating up on not Tron. Tron taking our scalp game 1. And so far, Scale Up being a bit of a liability against that Boros burn deck with the Deflecting Palm. However, he Deflecting Palmed 11 and we still won. Go figure. Deflecting Palmed us all the way down to 2 and we still won. Alright, so here we are for match number 4, everyone. We won the die roll and we are on the play. We actually chose to be on the play this time. Sound looks great. Let's go ahead and keep. Got a spicy Scale Up here in here for a good measure. See if we can trick our opponent with it. It's kind of impressive. Like, now that I'm playing with it, I'm seeing more and more lines. So if we verse like a Hate Bear deck, for example, it's a buff that they can't Flicker Wisp or things like that. So like if we attack on whatever critical turn it is, they can't Flicker Wisp interact with us being a 6/4, which is pretty nice. Alright, Tron again. Boo. Keep that. We might want to Dryad Arbor later on. Let's go ahead and put our enchantments down first. So this way we'll reoccur the 5 damage, right? If we like Scale Up, we get a good hit, but then we miss out on 2-3 damage from the aura we didn't play. So we'll Scale Up on a later turn, so we get more advantage out of it. Next turn we attack for 13. We're like any 1 mana aura off lethal. Or if we draw Daybreak, I think it's lethal too. Okay. Alright, Spice time, people. Let's attack for 12. Alright, opponent's nice and low. We've got him to 3. We'll see what their next move is. Opponent concedes the game. We actually raced Tron with the help of Scale Up there. Awesome. 1 mana, 5 damage. Once off 5 damage. Not bad. It'd be pretty interesting to run like this effect and also run Fling. Because then you could do some real wacky stuff. Maybe another time though. Good old Scale Up. Doing things. I think some number are okay, but we probably want to take like 2 out. Can remove a land here as well. And then aura-wise, I guess we just minus a cartouche as well. Alright, we'll go with that. Force of Vigor is like not mandatory, but it can be really nice to get a turn 1 expedition map and just destroy it. It can shut off your opponent's Tron plan pretty significantly. And on top of that, if they're playing the version which has Khan the Great Creator with the Ensnaring Bridge package, we're going to want this. His hand is like pretty meh. I think it's a keep. We have like some interaction. We don't have a good clock, but we have like land creature aura. This interaction is good. We'll be in a reasonable spot. If it's not good, it's going to be sad times. Alright, no turn 1 play for the opponent, so this is already looking a little bit worse. We hit our land, so at least we curve out this time. Alright, we're going to need the help from Poster Boy here. We'll play the Bogle. Turn 2 opponent. Urborg. Unexpected. Chalice. Ratchet Bomb. I mean, sure. Alright, we'll just get rid of that one now. Alright, play out the old double Sentinel's Eyes and attack for 3. Not the most exciting turn, I'll tell you that much. But we'll take it for now. Interestingly enough, our opponent does give us black mana that we can use to cast Lurrus without taking damage from Horizon Canopy. And with the Urborg, it affects both sides, so it's Eldrazi-tron. Matter Reshaper. Honestly, like, Matter Reshaper is pretty reasonable here. Like, this is not very good at all. So if he's not playing Thought-Knot Seer, I would assume he doesn't have Thought-Knot Seer. Alright, so we actually dropped the Grispoon. Happy to see that one. We'll go ahead and play it. We'll drop the Horizon Canopy. We'll attack for 4. Yeah, so he's interested in the card choices between Scale Up and Sentinel's Eyes, I think. Says it looks solid. Sure. Alright, so we'll attack on in. That reminds me, I should... Okay, well, he wants me to actually email it to him. That's interesting. So, we're in for 4. We'll see what his next move is. Guess I can just, like, email him a screenshot, and he can do what he wants from there. Alright, there's the Thought-Knot Seer. It takes away a Glade Calver Scout, not the worst. Now we can cycle this Horizon Canopy. Look for a good aura. We can't block the opponent's Matter Reshaper. We don't have First Strike. Spider Umbra is an aura. And so is that. Alright. So we now have a 6-power creature. And our opponent's not quite on a 2-turn clock. We're 1 damage off it being a 2-turn clock here. They are thinking... What are they going for now? Is this the old Reality Smasher? Second Thought-Knot Seer? It's Reality Smasher. Okay. So we're on 15. We're at a very high, healthy life total. If he attacks all out here, we block the Thought-Knots here for the extra card draw. 8 will put us to 7. Yeah. Because we're just looking for like another aura to finish him off this turn. Okay, 1 card deeper. Not quite what we're looking for. Alright, that'll do. Ethereal armor off the top. And, you know, blocking the Thought-Knot Seer worked out there. So I need to email my opponent here. Can I actually copy that text there somehow? What's going on? I can't. Okay. K-I-Y. I shouldn't be saying this. Okay. Cool. We'll start loading up for the next game, and I might send my opponent a list in the meantime. So, sorry if I'm a little quiet here while I'm... Actually, this is a good spot to screenshot it. This will work very nicely. Hopefully it's not above, like, any email size allowances. Alright, we found our opponent. So here we are for match number 5, everyone, versing Nizat. And from memory, this is a Storm player, actually. This hand is absolute garbage. Let's throw it away. Alright, we'll keep this one. At least it's got a good clock and etc. Put him Spider Umbra. Oh, it's Heliod Company? That's even worse. Alright, so just letting my opponent know to let me know if the picture that, like the screenshot I sent doesn't work, and I'll email them the proper list through. Alright, looks like it's there, cool. Alright, so looks like, yeah, Heliod Company, so we'll play our turn 1 guy, we'll pass the turn. As long as they don't go for like a combo hand, we should be in a good spot here. If they do go for a combo hand, we might be in a bit of trouble. So, no Heliod would be a good start. We might have a chance of beating Skyclave Apparition, but we can't really beat Infinite Life. Okay, Aureox fine. Pilgrim, or is Green Mana wasted? Green Mana wasted, cool. We miss a land drop. Big rip. Let's get our 1/1 token down. Although they gain life off that, don't they? Awkward. We'll get it down before they gain the second life from the second Aureox champion, right? Alright, attacking in. So yeah, currently 3-1, and this is definitely going to be one of our harder matchups. We do have 3 Deicide in the sideboard though to help try and deal with their Heliods. I did verse a deck and got like absolutely outplayed. A Heliod deck and got outplayed by trying to do it instant speed, and they Deicided in response, which is kind of awkward. Alright, what do they find? Spike Feeder, Captain Ranger of EOS. Alright, so technically not over yet. Technically. They can like sack this in our upkeep so we can't cast any spells, and that puts us in a very bad spot. Guess we can still attack for 2, but big meh. Doesn't really matter when you don't hit anything. Never make a land drop, man. Rip. I think this is the second time this league we've been land screwed like this. I think there was one other game earlier on. Alright, they sack the Horizon Canopy. No Heliod just yet. They're looking for it. Conclave. Walking Ballista on 1. Goodbye, Sweet Warrior token. Might as well cash this in now. Land. That'll work. That'll help. Alright, so like Rancor's vulnerable to removal here, but at least we get the trample so we can't just be chump blocked out. By removal I mean Skyclave Apparition, by the way. That card does tend to do that. And as is, we can attack for 6, put our opponent to potentially 10. Attack for 9 next turn, so I guess they're dead to a fetch land and no block, but yeah. Probably not going to happen like that. The downside here is this is also more mana inefficient. If we draw land next turn, we can't utilize the 3rd mana. Arbor Elf, alright. That's got to be their draw for the turn, right? There's no other way they'd be playing that this late, right? Surely not. Coco? Oh, counter on Ballista. Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that. This might actually be like the most fair match of Magic I've ever played against Heliod combo. No Captain Ranger of EOS to stop us from casting Daybreak now either. Yeah, that'd be about right. Right on time. Always on time. Well, this is an attack for 9. They're virtually at 17 though, so I guess it's 2 attacks until we kill them anyway. Just have to hope they keep bricking. Alright, opponent plays that land. Alright, here comes Skyclave Apparition. Hopefully he goes after Daybreak Coronet. Rancor's the card we don't have a duplicate of. Fuck, he goes after the Rancor. That's smart. We have 3 more Rancors and 3 Griff Spoons to draw to. Opponent can potentially at the moment like block with Arbor Elf and then ping Arbor Elf with Walking Ballista. Pog draw. That gives us a card draw. So we go Spirit Dancer into Daybreak, and we get to draw a card, get one card deeper. So you always maintain priority as being the player on the play. Priority will always revert to you after you resolve the spell. So, although that disrupts priority. Shit, I didn't think of that. Okay. Well, they didn't shoot it in response to their own trigger, so that was nice. Nice of our opponent. Alright, so counter on Walking Ballista, shoot Core Spirit Dancer. Look, I'm fine with that. Our opponent wasn't pressed into doing that just yet. They could have fog damage with Arbor Elf and then Walking Ballisted us next turn if they didn't draw what they needed. I think that's a bit preemptive. Like, they had a good chance to shoot it down before we drew anything, and then they didn't do that, so. Alright, Skyclave Apparition in the grave. And they get to gain a life off of Auriok Champion. RIP. Alright, another land drop for the opponent. And Heliod. Never mind. They top decked the Heliod. They just had all lands in hand and top decked a bunch of creatures, including the Heliod. Lame. Super lame. Alright, Dayside seems good. We'll bring that in. There's like potential for Gadok Teague to be okay because it shuts off Collected Company, but honestly it might be overboarding. I think the recent lists are only running one Walking Ballista and using the Captain Ranger of EOS to find the rest, or find it when they need it. So, because they normally win to infinite life gain. What do we want to take out? We have pulled 5 cards into the deck and we need to take some cards out. I hate to do it, but maybe scale up. 2 scale up, 3 cartouche. The blocker's not that important on cartouche. And we saw it gain some life with Auriok Champion. Alright, we'll do that. I guess we could also take out Core Spirit Dancer, but that card's also kind of gas. This hand is like pretty shit. We don't have any first strike in here. We've got an attack for 5 on turn 2, followed by an attack for 6. So we have our opponent at a virtual 9 with this hand, and then there's no follow-up. Like, if we top deck well, we're fine. I think we can mulligan, because we've got Sideboard Hate, which is really good against the opponent. Alright, well this is pretty good. We just need to find a creature. Let's keep. We can get rid of 1 Deicide. And just do nothing for a few turns until we put Lurrus into hand. It's going to be pretty funny. Pretty slow and awkward, but I actually really value having the Deicide here. Let's see. Let's see how good it is. We do have, what, 12 creatures in the... No, 13 creatures in the deck we're drawing to, and 4 fetch lands. Obviously, 4 of the creatures are significantly better than the others, but... actually, maybe I play the Horizon Canopy there so I can cycle it. If our opponent doesn't play Heliod, I can cycle the Horizon Canopy. I think that's the correct line. Okay. Yeah, because now, like, it's just not utilized. Alright, slight misplay there. Finally have a creature. Let's play Horizon Canopy. It's not a good creature, so I kind of don't want to go in on it just yet. Like, just this Skyclave Apparition absolutely destroys it. Opponent goes for 4 white mana here. Has he got the Walking Ballista? Walking Ballista on 2, and then he's just going to look to... Yeah, he does. Okay. Alright, well, we get to see their entire deck here. And their hand. And, of course, they never have the duplicate in hand. That would just... that would just be awkward if we got, like, actual card advantage, right? Alright, so... We've exiled 4 cards. There's nothing hiding anywhere that I can't see. I don't think so. Okay. So we just have to beat Auriok Champion plus Captain Ranger of EOS at this point. Well, we're going to want a hexproof creature to help with that. That is not a hexproof creature. Alright, we'll lure us to hand, pass the turn. Opponent gets to be, you know, pretty reasonably aggressive against us here. They can Captain a Ranger of EOS into... Oh, this opponent has 2 Walking Ballistas in his list. But usually it's just Arbor Elf that it can hit, right? Alright, opponent's emptied his hand. He gets to get a creature here. Gets to gain some life as well. Walking Ballista to hand. Yep. Plays out second Walking Ballista on 1. Interesting. And our opponent sided in 1 day aside, which is probably also important information. Alright, so we brick again. Let's sack this one. Creature. It's like our deck wants us to go in on Dryad Arbor. It just dies to Walking Ballista, and then the next Walking Ballista does stuff. Or like this one goes down, and then they've got 2 Walking Ballistas on 1. And then any excess mana they've got, they can really churn into getting a hit. Alright, cool. Opponent is drawing significantly better than us already with that Coco. I guess like we're literally drawing a creature and that's it though. 2 Conclave Mentors. Yikes. These ballistas are going to get big fast now. Yikes, that is so much damage, man. We don't even have like Daybreak in hand here. I can't see us ever winning this match. Alright. Yeah, he's just got 6 damage on the board with Walking Ballistas as well. Alright, so that was a 3-2. And I mean, I guess we kept a bit of a risky hand there. And that's on us. It feels sort of bad, him drawing that well and us drawing that poorly, but I mean, play a deck like Heliod Company and you're gonna go pretty wild and get some free wins, right? Yeah, scale up seemed fine, not like super amazing. I guess I should change the screen here so everyone can see what's going on. That one. Alright, so yeah, it seemed like okay, but not super amazing. Of course, we bring in Cartouche of Solidarity. Don't see a single Esper deck. Sounds about right. Yeah, I think I'd be interested to test scale up a little bit more. 4's probably too many. I feel like I might just like run another league here with the same deck, but make a couple of small adjustments. So like scale up out, we can add an extra core Spirit Dancer because of that. Do I want to change anything in the sideboard? So we versed Tron decks twice that league. One was Mono Green Tron, the other was Eldrazi Tron. We lost to one, we beat the other. Against a good Eldrazi Tron hand, I feel like we would have lost. Alright, so if people are playing Tron tonight, let's bring in an extra Teague. Let's take out the Rest in Peace. Or a Rest in Peace. And rest of our deck-wise, I feel like we're still playing one too many scale up. Get rid of one scale up for another Grispoon. Alright, we'll do another league. What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here, and we're back for another Modern League. So today I'm playing something a little bit different. I'm including some copies of Scale Up in the deck. So Scale Up will give my creature base power and toughness of 6/4. There's an overload cost on there as well, but we're mostly not going to use it. It is sorcery speed. You can only effectively cast 1 on your creature each turn. But yeah, it's a lot of damage. It might be unexpected from our opponents, and we should be able to sneak some wins from it. I did play a league just before with 4 copies of it, and I went 3-2, so not too bad. But I think I only played Scale Up in 2 or 3 games of the entire league. So it didn't come up that often. But I'm trimming it from 4 down to 2 because I feel like that's probably closer to where it should be. We've got usual suspects of Ethereal Armor as 4. We've got Grispoon up to a 4 at the moment. No Spirit Mantles this time. We've got Hyena Umber as a 4. Sentinel's Eyes as a 2. Rancor as 4. Spider Umber as 2. We've got 3 Cartouche of Solidarity in there for Kaisgar, which is getting a lot of play as well. Usual Daybreak Coronet. Usual 8 Hexproof Creatures, 20 lands, and 3 Spirit Dancers here. Sideboard wise, we're going for 3 Gadok Teague. We've versed 2 Tron decks in the previous league, so Teague's obviously very powerful against them. We've got the Deicide for Heliod Company, although keep a hand with a creature, go or just die. We got Rest in Peace as well for those graveyard decks. Leyline of Sanctity for burn decks, and discard decks, and the Force of Vigor there for artifacts and enchantments. Alright, that's the deck. Let's jump into this one, people. And yeah, as you guys can see, the trophy leaderboard actually got reset. I don't think I got any trophies last split. I think I went the entire split without any trophies. I also had like about a 65% win rate. But yeah, I don't actually think I got a single 5-0, which is surprising. Guess we have a chance here to maybe get a 5-0 and appear in like the top however many on there. But I don't play enough Magic Online to stay up there for like super long in any case. So yeah, if oh, we found a match. Okay, well, let's jump into it. We'll just change the source so everyone can see what's going on. All right, great. So here we are for match number 1, everyone, versing Self Esk. How do you say that? Definitely versed this guy before. I don't exactly remember what he's on. A Lurus deck. Alright, it's probably Shadow. This hand looks good. As long as we keep our creature, we'll be fine. So no turn 1 discard, and we're golden. Mish's Bauble. Alright, they'll probably do the thing which is Bauble us. They Bauble themselves. Alright, they're deciding whether or not to fetch here. Do they like the top card of the library? Don't they? Oh no, is this just the blue-black control deck? Oh no. Oh no. Chat, no. That's not red mana. That's not red mana at all. Well, top card of our library, let's go. Boo. Alright. Land and hard pass. This might be a bit hard. Our opponent's probably also got Scourge of the Skyclaves. It's starting to look like probably a Jun Shadow list. With, you know, Tarmogoyf as well. Tarmogoyf currently like what, 4-powered 4/5? It's Sultai. Okay. Creature before drown in the lock is live? No, never. Alright, well that Tarmogoyf is pretty big, people. We got 2 Rest in Peace in the sideboard to take care of those guys, but currently running a pathless list. Icefang Quaddle. Yep. Scary. Guy? Can we draw a guy? No. Okay, let's concede. Inquisition OP. It's time to ban Inquisition and Thoughtseize, people. Let's rally for it. People have rallied for crazier stuff in the past 12 months. Alright, so Leyline of Sanctity in. Stop that discard. Gadok Teague can stop things like explosives. I don't know if we need to be worried about it. Rest in Peace is going to be good, though. Lurus can potentially just bring stuff back, but it's disynergy with Rest in Peace. Get rid of, like, Scale Up. Get rid of, like, a Griff Spoon or 2. It's kind of good, but it's kind of bad because of Ice Fang. I've sort of brought in a lot, and I don't really want to take a lot out. Griff Spoon out. We'll leave in our cartouches. They could have edict effects. Get rid of Lurus. One Spirit Dancer, 1 land maybe. Alright, we'll do that. Could be overboarding. Like, I might not want the ley lines when I'm on the play. After just losing that game that hard, I kind of don't want to take the chance, but it's probably a situation where realistically, if we saw our opponent has Ice Fangs, if we can give like first strike or maybe hit our land drop, it might be a bit better. Okay, we're going to keep this one. But if our opponent takes away our Ethereal Armor with a Thoughtseize, we're then going to be in a pretty rubbish spot. And Dryad Arbor is sorcery speed, not instant speed as well, so that really sucks. I'd almost prefer to have a 6-card hand there so I could bottom the Dryad Arbor, honestly. Like, that's not me being melodramatic. That is me being 100% serious. Alright, we'll see how many discard spells they have this time. Fortunately, they can get like 1 aura. So joke's on them. Joke's on them. They're only allowed 1 discard spell to be good this game. Yes, later ones they could use to pick off a Lurrus, but we don't have Lurrus as the companion anymore because we brought in Leyline of Sanctity. Okay, well that's just a telltale sign our opponent has engineered explosives. Look at this amazing drawing skill that we have right now. Keep a 4-lander and draw a 5th land. Goodness, not starting too well for us this league. Why? Why? What would we have drawn that we wouldn't have played? It's literally Spirit Mantle, All That Glitters, Daybreak Coronet, or Core Spirit Dancer. Like, so our opponent actually think we have a chance to draw well. Alright, that's not a bad one. Does this resolve, opponent? It does. Alright, so we get a creature. Alright, we still get a creature. Don't have to play around Liliana of the Veil. Opponent's got a Lurrus. I guess they could have another Edict effect. That could get us though. Whatever. The other Edict effects are probably at 2 mana, honestly. The biggest problem's probably Engineered Explosives, which he'll likely look to play and activate this turn. Or he has nothing. Okay. Let's continue thinning. So like Ice Fang Quaddle is the best thing that comes to mind here. Let's sack. Alright, make them have it. I'm so confused. I literally haven't cast a single spell this game. Alright, John, how you doing, man? Welcome back. How does Engineered Explosives work with the Totem Armor? Everything blows up at once, right? The replacement effect still triggers, so the creature stays alive. Yeah, so that's how it works. Even if they explosives on 1 and activate it, it would see... like, it would obviously blow up the cartouche, but the replacement effect still triggers because it technically prevents it from happening with the wording and everything. That's probably the worst explanation you'll ever hear of that. The important thing is our creature would stay alive. Explosives on 1. I mean, are we surprised? He's literally waited this long, intentionally. Wait, he's blowing up sorcery speed now. Weird. Yeah, it's all good. It's the sort of thing that you need to know or you won't know. Well, this is just absolutely pathetic. Alright, cool. Well, this one's over. We'll move on to the next game. It's like a super medium ham followed up by like super shit draws. So, what can you do? All right, looks like we found our match number 2 opponent. So here we are for match number 2 versus Aetherianos, however we say it. Points for trying, right? And we lost the die roll, which means we're on the draw. Hand is reasonable, we'll keep. So my opponent is mulliganing to 6. Opponent skips their draw step. Okay. Did they skip through their second step as well? Mountain. Gotcha. It's burn. Some sort of red prison. Oh, Grim Lava Mancer. I haven't seen that in a long time. Does that mean like Magmatic Channeler as well? Weird. Alright, well if it's a burn deck, we're giving them 3 free points here, but we don't have a choice. We are also only 1 white mana off a turn 3 Daybreak. And Grim Lava Mancer is not the most aggressive creature. Alright, so it's looks like maybe a mono red burn deck. They could still be splashing white. But I don't think you'd normally see this in white lists. Alright, well, we'll take. Opponent's guide kindly gifted us a Temple Garden. You can actually slow roll that to stop 2 damage, but then we stop 2 life gain 2 turns time. Opponent isn't doing too much. I think we just look to leave back really strong blocks here. And then we'll just win next turn. So this will effectively give us more life gains next turn. And we can fog the 2 damage from the Goblin Guide. And this also stops our opponent from like blocking a Daybreak Coronet attack with Goblin Guide, pinging their own creature with Grim Lava Mancer or a Lightning Bolt, and stopping the life gain. Lightning Bolt, sure. 2 cards left in hand. They could still be playing something like Double Infuriate. What's Double Infuriate? Have I missed something here? Hellspark Elemental, so Trample Haste 3-1, at beginning of the end step, sacrifice Hellspark Elemental. Yield to the guide trigger. Reveal Ethereal Armor. Okay. Well, we save more damage if we drop this, block the elemental. Puts a creature in the grave for Grim Lava Mancer, but we're doing that anyway. Daybreak for the win. Surely attack for 9, gain 9 is going to be enough. Maybe my opponent wants to play it out. They've only got 1 card left in hand. How many did they keep? They mulliganed to 6 and then kept to 6. Feels like for the amount of, for a 6 card hand, it feels like they've got very little damage on us and very little board presence. It's got to be a budget mono red burn deck. Reddit said, lol, what is that deck? And I sort of just laughed at his, being like, what is yours? No one plays these cards. Do they bring in Skullcracks, or is that just too slow? They can bring in Skullcracks. Skullcrack's pretty good against us. It's probably in their list of cards. It looks like they're just mono red, otherwise they wouldn't be playing things like Hellspark Elemental and Grim Lava Mancer. Like, Eidolon of the Great Revel is just massively better than both those cards, so I'm guessing like Eidolon's too expensive for their budget or something. So if they didn't like that, they're not going to like Leyline's coming in. It could be something like Blood Moon. Could consider Force of Vigor. I'm not even sure we need to, though. Take out, like, Griffspoon. Oh, we'll take out, like, 2 Griffspoon and bring in 1 Lucky Force. There's also, like, some red enchantments, like, that just stop a whole bunch of life gain, right? There's like a Roiling Vortex, I think was the name of the card. They might even be main decking Skullcrack Pirate John. Alright, opponent seems like they're a little bit salty at this point. Maybe they have a creature-based hand and they don't care about Leyline. Bring back Sulfuric Vortex, make mono red great again. Is it bad that I need to look up the exact text? I know the word. A Sulfuric Vortex. Oh my god, we just top deck the Daybreak as well. Go team. 3 mana red enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player. If a player would gain life, that player gains no life instead. Alright, opponent concedes to us playing a creature. They didn't even attack with their Goblin Guide. Very odd. Very odd stuff. I feel sorry for my opponent who randomly drew a deck which they literally had no chance against. Maybe if they had like a more expensive version of Burn, they would have been fine. But some of those card choices are questionable as well. Like when you have things like Skewer the Critics, Rift Bolt, Lava Spike, even Lava Dart, like a lot of that seems better than whatever the hell that 2 mana creature was. Alright, here we are for match number 3, everyone, versing Davi. Won the Darrow on the play. This is, yeah, match number 3. Currently 1-1. Urian deck. That probably means Hate Bears. It could be a different variant. Either way, we're ditching that hand. This can be a keep. It can be bad. We can keep it, ditch Griffspoon, and hope Spirit Dancer is good. Doesn't get removed. What creature did he play? It was a 2 mana 3/1 haste that gets sacked at the end step. Haste trample, sorry. Whatever it is. It was junk, whatever it was. It's like a bad lightning skelemental. Or I think there was like a different creature as well at 3 mana, which was like Lightning Skelemental, but monocolored. But yeah, it just seemed like the worst version. Oh yeah, Unearth stuff, yeah. Pretty well, but it didn't even look like my opponent was playing anything for Unearth. Alright, Spirit Dancer and Prey. Check out the Spell Snare my opponent probably has. No, it resolved. No Spell Snare this time. Triome, intapped. Alright. This is like a Stoneblade deck. Or is this the Niv Mizzet deck? Or is it the Mirror? Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not the Mirror. There's Lightning Bolt. So far we've seen Jeskai colors. The game is so over at this point, but I should play for at least a turn or two more information. He's probably just not going to cast anything though, and I won't get any information. Breeding Pool, 4 color. Okay. It looks pretty bad now. Honestly, it looked pretty bad before. It looked bad against Urian Companion. You probably can't see it there, but yeah, there's the Urian companion. Coiled elemental. Usually I just have it expanded. For some reason, this version of screen sharing doesn't show you my expanded companions. Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I'm just gonna concede. I think we've got enough information to do some sort of semi-good sideboard. Rhymewood Falls, yeah. So literally they're missing black. Very strong possibility of Bring to Light, of Niv Mizzet, things like that. Obviously Lightning Bolt was just very free and good there. I don't really know if we want much from our sideboard. These lists normally just run a whole bunch of interaction, not Snapcaster Mage, so the best effect for Rest in Peace would be like screwing over Ren and 6, which is pretty big gamble, right? Not even sure we want the Teague. If we bring in Teague, we're only going to be bringing in 2 copies. I think Scale Up is fine because it's fast. Ren and 6, Griffspoon is probably bad because they probably have Ice Fang Quaddle and Shark Typhoon. Alright, let's submit. Gamble too high on the Ren and 6? Yeah, I think so. I'm expecting like Arbor Elves and Utopia Sprawls and Noble Hierarchs, Abundant Growth or Ambient Growth, whatever it's called. Typical Bogle fashion, can't keep a 7. Keep this one. 6 will do. Bottom, a Spider Umbra here. They might not have enough snow to give the creature Death Touch though. They probably won't. But still, they just like have blocking in the air, which is bad for us. I'd kind of prefer, you know, a Rancor. Something that does something. We're probably facing Ether Gust here though, which makes our green spells a lot worse. I might run out a turn 2 Scale Up to play around Ether Gust. Birds of Paradise, okay. Land. Now I kind of hate Scale Up. Seems awful in this spot. Am I going to race that rubbish? They might go for like Teferi Bounce Enchantment. Alright, well we hit land. Go team. Pog team. Their deck is like too greedy to run land destruction, but it's not too greedy to run Blood Moon, I don't think. Although it might shut off a lot of their snow effects. Attack for a bunch. If they tap out and we draw land, we have 13 damage next turn. The only reason they'd be tapping out is Teferi though, right? Although they can't cast Teferi with this current mana that they have. Guess they could Blood Moon. That sort of screws us pretty hard. Coiling Oracle? Yeah. Probably just going to chump block. I guess Griffspoon's better than Scale Up, let's be real. They have Mystical Dispute against a fucking green-white Bogle deck. What? What? Doesn't make any sense, man. Get our life gain down. Get our attack in. They can Lightning Bolt their own Coiling Oracle to stop us from gaining life. Yeah, I kind of hate my decision to take out Grispoon right now. It is hurting us so bad. Scale up to race, lol. Didn't happen. Never know. Maybe they just no, they can't Supreme Verdict here. They can't possibly have the mana to Supreme Verdict at this point. Fuck, what can they even do? I want them to tap out so they can't jump block. They're just blocking with Birds of Paradise. That's pretty good for us. They could be flashing in an Ice Fang, but because they didn't do it during their turn, they potentially miss out on scale up. On a land drop, pardon me. Alright, Rancor's a great draw. I'm just going to jam it. Make them have the counterspell here. Their mana's super awkward, so they might not. They can hardcast Mystical Dispute, actually, but that's going to tap them out, and then we can attack them to 5. Alright, that is exactly what they do. Alright, well, hopefully he continues to miss land drops and his hand is expensive. Fingers crossed. Alright, they concede. So, like, Birds of Paradise is also another reason why Grispoon loses a lot of value, but not as much as Scale Up. I should have taken that out before. What else did we take out? Is that it? 2 of them for 2 Gadok Teague. Might want the 3rd Gadok Teague. Probably not. Let's cement. Actually, we could over a Spirit Dancer. On the draw, I think I like the 3rd Teague over the Spirit Dancer there. Looks like the submission went through though, so I couldn't change it. Alright, so hand looks pretty solid. Let's keep. This is actually a really strong hand. I'd argue this is the strongest hand we've had all night, and this is, what, our 8th match? So, yeah. Don't mind it. Alright, we obviously keep. Forest into Matadoc, sure thing. Wonder if they're randomly running Spell Queller. This would be the first game where it's going to be particularly relevant if they are. Great draw. Really like seeing that card. Ethereal Armor is huge. So if our opponent has a 3-mana sweeper, they can do it here. Neoform. Okay. Turn 2 Blood Moon? Maybe. This goes after a creature. It can get something that costs 2. So they're neoforming to a Coiling Oracle? That can't be right. Or an Ice Fang? Well, I don't think we have to worry about... or a Wall of Omens. Why? Why would our opponent do that? That doesn't seem good. Well, let's get our basic planes. And I think we just jam the Rancor Ethereal attack for 5. Hopefully he doesn't have counter magic. We'll lead on the Ethereal because we might want to play around a sweeper type effect. If he counters that, okay, that's fine. Jam that one. Cool. This deck is weird because I've seen decks that have like very similar land bases that actually do things that are worthwhile, and neoforming for a Wall of Omens does not seem like good value. So this is where they probably get the Triome land end step. Ephemerate, sure. So they get a draw card here. It's a random Ephemerate deck. Does that mean we need to be worried about Skyclave Apparition? So I can minimize these guys so everyone else can see companions as well. Council's Judgment. That's not modern legal, man. It's I think it's been semi-spoiled though. That is a legacy playable card. But there were some like soft spoilers that went up for Modern Horizons 2. And I think that was one of the cards on the list. Along with, you know, Counterspell and Brainstorm and all the usual suspects. It should be modern legal. Come on, man, don't be like that. We've got enough hate as Bogles. We don't need a Verse Council's Judgment as well. We need to stop these cards that don't target but still interact. If we're going to make Bogles great again, that's the only choice we have. So I can potentially just go for the win here. Ethereal Imp to Daybreak should be 12. We've got 5. Plus another 4 is 9. Plus another 5 is 14. Yeah, so we have 14 damage here. So this forces our opponent to counter this, to answer it with an Abrupt Decay or something, or they're dead. Yes, they can block with Wall of Omens. So not quite dead. Pretty close though. So your friend bought your mono white Heliod Devotion in a small deck. Mono deck Devotion to a small tournament and piloted it pretty badly. Yeah, I think you're telling me about that. What did you end up playing? Was it Bogles or was it Infect? I can't remember. Opponent goes to 2 here. It's probably an easy deck to play poorly, right? There's probably a lot of nuances that you need to play a few games with to understand, right? It's first time playing modern matched up against Bogles, Infect, and then the Rock. Bogles should be a good matchup for him. Infect is a bad matchup. The Rock, I'm not sure. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent skips their next combat stack. Okay, well this is complete jank. Stonehog Dignitary. This looks like maybe a deck that goes up to Kiki Jiki. And then kills you with Kiki Jiki on like Deceiver Exarch or something. Alright, so we draw Gadok Teague. Seems like mostly fine. We'll start off by cycling Horizon Canopy in case we want to do something different. Alright, so play the Teague. Maybe stop a Bring to Light. Not sure. How did you go in the tournament, John? Alright, what's happening? Eternal Witness. What, get back Ephemerate? And then be annoying with Ephemerate? That's annoying. Ugh. Huh. Just let me end the game and move on to the next one, opponent. Why are we torturing ourselves like this? You're on one life. Just give. It's like versing 2 Ephemerate is not enough. Now it's going to 4. Yes or no? Ranger Captain of AUS opens a lot of lines. Okay, interesting. You didn't play? Fair enough. Alright, Galactic down. There was like a Magic Online update, and I think as a result it stopped a whole bunch of like free information things from like working and triggering and etc. So like the thing that keeps track of how many games I've got are not here is like not up. I've got it listed, but it's not showing, obviously. And the function from MTGBot that tells me opponents' deck lists and what their records are and things like that, that's not functioning either. Ephemerate, get Eternal Witness, okay. Get Ephemerate back. Trigger. Alright, so opponents effectively got me locked out here at this point. But you did drive 2 hours to his house and then drove 1 out. And then he drove 1 out of the tournament. How far away do you live from stuff, John? What? That seems wild. So do we have an out to stop this stupid creature from just winning the game? From him like slowly drawing a win condition? I don't think so. This is frustrating. Sack this one. Hey, look, a Griffspoon. If only we got an attack step, that would be amazing. I think I'm going to put Luris to the slaughter and see if we can use that as a distraction for our opponent to not just like kill us. Mystical Dispute. Alright, whatever. Obviously we can't pay for that Magic Online. Obviously we can't pay for that. Jesus. So it really feels like they shouldn't just be able to chain lock us with Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, and this weird janky creature, but apparently they are. All their fetch lands are turned off though. Alright, rest in peace. It's going to be needed for game 3. Gonna see like one more draw step and... Oh, fuck. I don't need to concede here. I can literally time my opponent out. That's so dirty, but... Honestly... It's also worth seeing his win condition at the same time. And maybe not revealing that I didn't sideboard in a win condition. Or like an interaction condition. Deck would be extremely well shut down by Torpor Orb as well, by the way. There's the Kiki Jiki. Alright, we knew, we guessed it after we saw the Neo form. Cycle. Make it look like we're looking for something. Hey, right on time. We drew some more land, guys. Go land team. Guess that's better on the other scout, but here we go. So, do they have Restoration Angel, Deceiver Exarch, something similar to that they can go infinite with here? Suppose we'll soon find out. No Blessed Alliance in the sideboard. He needed to be No Blessed Alliance in the sideboard. He needed an aggressive mulligan for a chance against Bogles. Infect was super easy matchup. As in easy for him to win? Really? Don't people play Infect to beat Heliod combo? Or is like he running 4 copies of Walking Ballista, so it makes it way easier. The Rock also seemed like a favorable matchup, but he underestimated the power of Bob, Dark Confidant. Yep. Game 1, his opponent drew 5 cards off Bob before he pathed it. Yeah. He had Path in his opening hand and wanted to save it for Tarmogoyf. Oh, lol. So he saw Bob, and despite versing a Smallpox or 8 Regdak or whatever it's called, a rock deck. Oh, wait, no. Black-green rock? Okay. Saving it for Tarmogoyf. That makes sense. Ah, yeah. Opponent's got the GGs. Cool. Well, he's got the Flying Angels. Yeah, something like that, opponent. Something like that. Fucking GGs. Janky shit. Wait, we actually lost that matchup? How did he steal a game? How did he steal game 1 against us? Game 2 went so well. Super awkward. Okay. Yeah, so like Dark Confidant is just like really, really strong, and obviously 5 cards is a bit too much. That's pretty good card advantage. It's the sort of thing that, like, hopefully he doesn't make that mistake again, though. Like, it's probably obvious to people that know and played Magic for a long time how valuable card advantage is. But to someone that's a bit newer, like your friend, I think it's forgivable. Alright, so here we are for match number 4. Currently 1 and 2. On the dial and on the play versus Yui. 4 Ballista, 4 Paths, 4 Skyclave Apparition, 4 Atomic Mainboard, 4 Chalice Side. And it sounds like you have some pretty decent cards in there. I'm not sure what Atomic is, though. Let me do a quick Google search. So, the white creature, double white, human advisor, flying, lands on the battlefield and land cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Your opponents can't play lands from graveyards. I'm not sure. What's the significance of Tomic? So opponent is on a Lurus deck here. I think we keep this in the blind. We did win the die roll and we are on the play. This got some good enchantments. If you ignore the Dried Arbor, everything else looks really solid. Atomic is incidental hate, or you mean protection for Inkmoth Nexus? Are you running Inkmoth Nexus, or is it hate for your opponent's Inkmoth Nexus? Oh, right. Okay, that's cool. That's good tech. I didn't think of that. Ah, not bad. Looks like a Grixis deck here. Oh, turn 1 lame seas. Yeah, so against Infect, they can activate the Inkmoth Nexus, but they can't pump it. I get you. Question, I know you're a mono white, but wouldn't Melira do the same thing? Atomic is spicy. Literally only played one in played in one legacy deck. Okay. So you watch some legacy as well. Have you seen Therabium Academy on YouTube? That guy plays like a lot of different decks, and it's a very good persona about him. Online. For lighting out on Cartouche. Go ahead and Rancor Cartouche attack. I can't believe like Liliana's getting no play at the moment. It seems so odd to me. So attack in. It's because like all the Jund decks are running like Jund Shadow. Death Shadow is just in a really good spot at the moment, and normal Jund is less good spot wise. It probably requires, excuse me, more skill to play. Atomic shutdowns, ramp effects in Green White Heliod matchup. Oh yeah, it does too actually. Shuts down Ren and 6. Those are some relevant cards. Looks like a Grixis Shadow list. No Gurmog Angler though for our opponent. Double Serum Visions? Oh, that's a very slow hand opponent. He could be setting up for a big Death Shadow next turn. What did he do with his scries? He scried 2 to the bottom both times. Alright, let's just proceed to completely empty our hand and attack for 7. That puts our opponent to 2, and we've got, 4 creatures on the board. So we should be able to attack wide mostly here. We actually kill through engineered explosives